Hello friends, this is David Sami with A Christian Journey. Today we want to talk about seeking God. I know most of us, we would like to encounter God. We would like to have an experience with God. But the problem is, maybe the way we are seeking God is inadequate. We sometimes seek God very casually. Like many times we find ourselves praying at the end of the day when we are tired, when we are exhausted. And God, becomes one interest among many other interests that we have. But can we find God that way? Can we treat God casually and find Him? You see, in book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 29, God tells us that you will seek the Lord your God, and you will find Him if. Now here are the conditions that God Himself sets for us if we want to look for Him in a way that we would find Him. He would say, if you search after Him with all your heart and with all your soul. You see, to find God, we need to seek for Him intentionally. That it cannot be a casual seeking. It cannot be something that we treat like ice cream after dinner. If we look for God, okay, fine, but if not, it's okay. You see, that way we will never find God. But we need to seek for Him with all of our heart and all of our soul. But what does that mean? That means that it needs to be an inner decision that we are going to be committed to look for Him. And we are not going to give up until we find Him. It's a commitment of our heart, our inward attitude, our mind, and our will, that we are going to put ourselves in a path to find God. Now, finding God is a process. It is not something that will happen overnight. But we need to begin our journey and be in the path and doing the things that would lead us to God, that we would find God. Now, some of the things that would be helpful to make us to find God or help us to seek God with all of our heart is, number one, set aside a time that you go and talk to God in quietness, that you go and pray to God, and try to keep that time as much as possible. Be faithful. If something came up, fine, one day, but try to be faithful, that it will become part of your routine of life, that at this time, I withdraw from people, I withdraw from everybody to go and be alone with God so I can talk to Him. Number two, read your Bible daily, minimum, maybe a chapter, and throughout your day, reflect on what you read, meditate on that chapter, what the subject was, what did it have to say, what are some of the things that could be applicable to me and my life. So meditate on the chapter that you read. Take God with you. Go throughout the day with God. Praise Him internally. Thank Him for His faithfulness. Talk to Him about your needs throughout the day. That your day begins and ends with God. That you go throughout the day and God is your friend and your companion. That you talk to Him, you make your request known to Him, and that you and God have a relationship throughout the day. And bring your actions in line with what you know would please God. We have a misunderstanding notion of what obedience is, and I want to talk about that in future. But know this, that things aren't all or nothing. Growing with God and seeking with God is a process. that we are going to fail. We are going to get sidetracked. But the idea is to get right back and keep moving. Don't look for something to happen, but know that this is the way to seek after God, and you will encounter God. You will have an experience with God. And we're going to talk more about that in the future. But know this, that our seeking after God needs to be intentional. It needs to matter to us. It cannot be some casual thing that if we did, fine. If we didn't, it's okay. That way, we will never find God. But He invites us to come and look for Him. And we will find Him when we seek after Him with all of our hearts and all of our soul. It needs to be a life choice. Now, until next time, may the Lord be with you. May He watch over you. May He make His face to shine upon you. This is David Sami with A Christian Journey.